Over 2,500 years ago, in the northern part of India, there was a prince named Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha was born into a life of luxury and comfort, surrounded by wealth and indulgence. His life seemed perfect, and yet deep within, he felt a sense of unease. Despite all his riches and pleasures, something was missing. One day, Siddhartha ventured outside the palace and for the first time, encountered the harsh realities of life. He saw people suffering from illness, poverty, and old age. He witnessed death firsthand. This moment deeply disturbed him. Siddhartha realized that suffering was an inevitable part of human existence, and he was consumed by the question, why must we suffer, and how can we be freed from it? Driven by this question, Siddhartha decided to leave his royal life behind and seek the answers. He began his spiritual journey, exploring various forms of meditation and austerities, subjecting himself to extreme fasting and intense physical suffering. However, despite his relentless efforts, he was unable to find peace or enlightenment. He felt disillusioned. Then, one day, Siddhartha sat beneath a Bodhi tree and decided to meditate deeply. As he sat in silence, facing his own mind, he confronted his deepest desires, attachments, and fears. These were the same universal struggles that plagued all human beings. Attachment to wealth, fear of loss, the desire for eternal life, and the dread of death. In that moment of deep contemplation, Siddhartha came to a profound realization. All suffering arises from attachment and desire. When we cling to things, when we yearn for things to be different than they are, we invite suffering into our lives. Siddhartha understood that suffering arises from our resistance to the natural flow of life. When we expect things to always go our way, we are bound to feel frustration and pain. But what if we could let go of our attachments? What if we could accept life as it is, in its impermanence? This realization brought an incredible peace to Siddhartha's heart. He understood that everything in life is impermanent, constantly changing. Attachments only lead to suffering because they are based on things that will inevitably change or disappear. But when we accept this truth and live in the present moment, free of attachment, we can transcend suffering. Siddhartha's realization brought him to a state of deep inner peace. He had awakened. No longer was he the prince seeking worldly power or eternal life. He had transcended the fears and desires that had bound him to suffering. He had become the Buddha, the awakened one, and he was now ready to share his wisdom with others. Buddha's teachings focus on the cessation of suffering, a path that leads to freedom and peace. He shared the Four Noble Truths, which explain the nature of suffering, its cause, its cessation, and the path to its end. The Eightfold Path, which Buddha taught, offers a practical way for individuals to live a life of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline, ultimately leading to the cessation of suffering. Let's explore the Eightfold Path, the key teachings that guide us toward a life of peace and freedom. 1. Right view samadhi. The first step in the Eightfold Path is to develop a right understanding of the world. This involves understanding the Four Noble Truths and recognizing that suffering is a natural part of life, but it is not inevitable. We can free ourselves from suffering by changing the way we relate to the world. The right view is not about having fixed beliefs or opinions, but about seeing things as they truly are, without delusion or bias. 2. Right intention, samma sankappa. The second step is to cultivate the right intention or motivation. This means having a sincere desire to practice kindness, compassion, and understanding. Right intention is about letting go of selfish desires and attachments, and replacing them with pure intentions that are in harmony with the well-being of others. It's about having an intention to act with wisdom and compassion, not out of selfishness or anger. 3. Right speech samavaka. The third step is to practice right speech, which involves speaking truthfully, kindly, and with integrity. Our words have a powerful impact on others, and by speaking with compassion, we can uplift others and avoid causing harm. Right speech means avoiding lies, gossip, slander, and hurtful words, and instead using words to promote harmony and understanding. 4. Right action, samakamanta. The fourth step is to engage in right action. This means acting ethically and morally, avoiding actions that harm others. Right action involves living in a way that is mindful of the consequences of our behavior and making choices that contribute to the well-being of all beings. It means acting with kindness and respect for all life. 5. Right livelihood, sama ajiva. The fifth step is to choose a right livelihood. This means earning a living in a way that does not harm others or the environment. It is about finding work that is ethical, responsible, and beneficial to society. Right livelihood requires us to examine the ways in which our actions contribute to the world, ensuring that our work supports the welfare of others. 6. Right effort, samavayama. The sixth step is to make the right effort. This involves cultivating wholesome states of mind and actively working to eliminate unwholesome ones. Right effort is about perseverance and dedication, consistently striving to improve ourselves and staying focused on our spiritual path. It means not giving up, even when challenges arise, and maintaining a positive attitude towards growth. 7. Right mindfulness, samasati. The seventh step is to practice right mindfulness, which involves being fully present in the moment. It means paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment, and being aware of how we are experiencing life. Right mindfulness allows us to live with greater clarity and insight, helping us to recognize and transform the habitual patterns that cause suffering. 8. Right concentration, samasamadhi. The final step is to cultivate right concentration, which involves developing a focused and undistracted mind through meditation. Right concentration allows us to attain deep states of mental clarity and tranquility, and helps us to see the true nature of reality. Through concentration, we can develop the mental discipline necessary to live a life of wisdom and compassion. Buddha's teachings are not just theoretical. They are practical tools for overcoming suffering and living a more peaceful and fulfilling life. The Eightfold Path provides a clear and actionable framework for personal transformation, guiding us to live in alignment with our highest values. However, following the Eightfold Path is not easy. It requires commitment, perseverance, and a willingness to face our inner struggles. Our minds are often filled with distractions, desires, and attachments, which can pull us away from the path of wisdom and peace. But Buddha reminds us that change is possible. Through consistent practice and mindful effort, we can transform our lives and transcend suffering. In addition to the Eightfold Path, Buddha emphasized the importance of living the middle way. This means avoiding extremes, whether in indulgence or self-denial. It's about finding a balanced approach to life, where we can engage with the world without becoming attached to it. The middle way teaches us that true happiness comes from finding harmony within ourselves, not from external circumstances. Furthermore, Buddha taught the importance of self-reflection and mindfulness. It is essential to examine our own thoughts, actions, and motivations, and to continuously work towards self-improvement. By being mindful of our inner world, we can recognize the patterns that lead to suffering and make the necessary changes to free ourselves. Finally, Buddha urged us to choose our companions wisely. The people we surround ourselves with can either inspire us or lead us astray. By associating with wise and virtuous individuals, we can learn valuable lessons and support each other on the path to enlightenment. In conclusion, the Eightfold Path is a practical and transformative guide for living a life free from suffering. through right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, we can gradually dissolve our attachments and free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. Buddhist teachings remind us that we have the power to change our lives, and through consistent practice, we can achieve true peace and happiness. Let us walk the path of wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness, and step by step, we can overcome the challenges of life and reach a place of inner peace. Buddha's message is timeless, and it is as relevant today as it was over 2 millennia ago. Thank you for watching, and may you find peace and freedom on your journey.